Talk Radio with Michael, Neil, Phil, and the gang.
Welcome back to the show, episode 306 episodes. Wow. This is the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, techniques, and alliteration, and together we all become better at writing songs, ideally. I'm your host, Mike Proudfoot, and joining me are the all-star members of the Song Talk Radio Action Team. We have fantastic Phil.
I am flantastic indeed.
Flantastic.
Flange-tastic.
We'll take care of that in post. We have Notorious Neil.
Why, thank you very much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
feeling quite notorious.
And on social media tonight, we have Rita the Righteous. Woohoo! And finally on the tech board, it's Dynamo Don.
Oh, thank you. Dynamite I am.
Yes. Thank you for keeping
Watch
it real,
me blow
man.
up.
Please don't.
Not dynamite,
Taking
dynamo.
you with me.
Dynamic.
Dynamo, like a superhero.
This is going off the rails already. During the show, send your comments, complaints, and questions to @SongTalkRadio on Twitter or Facebook, or feedback @songtalk.ca, and we will share them with the audience in real time. Unless, of course, you're watching the podcast, in which case it's in the past.
It's
right?
fake time.
It's fake time. And please stop by our website at songtalk.ca to find out how you can be a guest on our show. We're excited tonight to talk to Jadyn Lamb and Marco. But before we get to that, I want to remind you the Song Talk Challenge is up next week.
Yes, it is.
We'll be presenting our songs that we were challenged with, challenged to write positive lyrics over a minor key.
Yes.
And
How is that going?
for me, pretty good. I finally got a decent drummer. Thank you, Neil.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Who might that
it's
be?
helping to put that together.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to hear from you as well. So if you want to participate in said challenge, please send your songs into us, and we will feature them on the show next week.
Yeah,
How's
that'll
it
be
going
fun.
for you, Phil?
It's been actually very productive. I've written a lot of songs, but none of them are, unfortunately, in a minor key with positive words. So I start off with something, and then it comes up, and then it's not right. So,
Oh, boy.
So you're going down you're exploring.
well, I'm exploring. I've actually got a lot of songs done, so that's okay.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just,
it's not a bad
And Neil,
place.
how's it working out for you?
I'm pretty much done. I'm doing the
Well, that's pretty
arrangement
good.
and
The
the production
getting
now.
snowed in on Saturday helped?
The getting snowed. Yeah, snow day was totally a studio day. It's been half the afternoon on Mike's song doing the
Yes.
drums and stuff, and
appreciate
then the other
that.
half of it doing my own. So yeah, pretty much there.
And then you send it to me, I go, no.
No, change this and this. I got notes.
So, yeah. Okay, so that's Song Talk. We got that up. Is there any other news? Or
Yes, we got some listener mail. Dear Michael, Neil, Phil, and Vanessa, congrats on...
What about Don?
Not Ed Don.
He wasn't
I'm sure they
mentioned.
meant Don.
Yeah.
Congrats on the Song Talk podcast. I'm a fan. I'm also a very amateur songwriter, and I'm pretty good with data software. My day job is a researcher at BOSE.
Really?
Yeah, which is pretty
Fancy.
cool.
Oh, that if we only had some BOSE stuff to kind of try out and talk about how great
That's
it was
true.
on
I
the
think
air,
only.
that would. Like,
Wonder
maybe
how we would arrange that.
Because we don't,
don't
there's
know.
not even enough headphones to go around here. Like even some
True.
headphones would help.
Really, we need anything. I often get stuck in a chord progression where I have an idea of the chord I want, but I can't find it. I decided to make a free iOS app to help this. This is just a hobby project for me. I trained some machine learning on 10,000 popular songs, and I use it to give you a small number of suggestions for the next chord in your progression. I think of it as an utility that a songwriter might have alongside their guitar tuner. It's at nextchord.app, nextchord.app. And
Available at your app store, I imagine.
yes, I think it might just be iOS at this point. Anyways, I would love it
that's fantastic.
if you would all check it out. If you like it, it would be a dream for me if you mentioned it on the podcast or elsewhere online.
Well, I downloaded it, so I'll check it out. And let
Yeah,
you know
it's
how it
pretty
works.
cool, actually. And it's very handy, actually.
And I know next to nothing about chord progression.
Does it actually give you an option, like I want a weird choice or I want like a conventional choice?
I haven't tried it out yet, so I
haven't
can't
played
answer
out
that.
with it that much.
Well, maybe if you
but-
download it and tried it, you'd know.
Yeah.
I have a Samsung phone, but I actually use my wife's
okay.
iPad,
All right.
so there you go.
All right.
So
Any
many
other anything else, Phil?
Yes, well, we have a bit of news about Queen.
The Queen?
The
Not
Queen.
the Queen.
But Queen is going to be put on a coin in
band.
Britain. Yes. I think Don brought it to
A commemorative
attention.
coin,
Yeah.
or like in regular circulation?
Was
coin?
this they're thinking about it, or they're actually doing it?
What do you think, Don?
No, they're actually going to do it. They're going to put that coin. I think it was actually released already.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
lovely.
really? Well, if you'd like to send in those Queen commemorative coins to us, that would be fine.
Yes.
Buy some, sure. You could
They
use them
actually
here,
cost
I'm
more
sure.
than they're worth, though.
Well,
Typical commemorative
coins
coin thing.
always do,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, no, it's,
Go
it's
with our Queen commemorative plates we have.
and of course we have a new $5 Canadian note coming up.
Oh yes.
So who should
are
be
they
on that?
are they soliciting, or we have no say in
No,
it?
they're soliciting.
They're soliciting.
Oh
They
yeah.
want-
So
they
you
want-
mentioned putting Neil Peart.
Yeah,
Neil
I
Peart
suggested
on it.
Neil Peart because he's good at the 5/4 time signature, so fives. You
Right.
know.
What song would of theirs would you know?
There's
like,
probably
be best known?
the one that comes to mind is
5/4.
Free Will
okay.
from 1979's Permanent Waves. Although it's got a lot of different time signatures in there, five's just one of them.
Right.
So
Exactly.
go prog rock.
Apparently, some of the people are being looked at is Terry Fox,
Yeah,
Gord
which is a great
Downey,
choice.
Good.
and Don Cherry, which I don't.
Right. Anyone who's not a white guy.
Terry
That's
Fox
what
is
I
a
was
white
thinking.
guy.
I'm sorry.
Terry Fox is a white guy, but
Yeah,
I
I
love
know.
that idea.
Terry Fox would be good, but
Yeah.
just if
Maybe-
the short list had maybe a greater range,
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
like
That would
maybe
be good.
First Nations.
that would be especially
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Although maybe they
Or
would
Channy
not.
Winchak.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not totally sure. But don't you have to be dead to be on a banknote?
Well, that's 2 out of the 3. But I would say putting someone as divisive as Don Cherry on it would be a bad idea.
I agree. Anyways, so what musician would you like on the $5 note? Send us an email at feedback@songtalk.ca.
Sounds like
And,
a good idea.
yeah.
He's not dead, but I think Gordon Lightfoot would be good.
Yeah.
Or Anne Murray.
And I think Neil, you got something?
Got any news?
Yeah, so this weekend on Saturday, I'm actually going to the Music Expo.
What is the Music Expo,
The
Neil?
Music Expo is. I'm actually not sure. I haven't been there before, but it's got. They actually have a Neil Peart tribute table. Where they're gathering messages, they're going to send them to the band. You
Oh,
can
okay,
write in
I
their
see.
little book or whatever. There's a bunch of people showing up there. Gord Depp from Spoons and Flock of Seagulls. Alan Cross is going to be there. Eric Alper is going to be there. Sharon Hampson from Sharon Lois and Bram is going to be there.
Oh, brilliant.
There's a trade show. There's a musicians alley where musicians can network with each other. There's an acoustic showcase. And hosted by Matt Zaddy, who's actually going to be on our show sometime as soon as we book him.
okay.
He's a very talented musician, singer-songwriter,
So
and
Sharon Lois and Bram doing
yeah.
a Rush
And
tribute.
so where is this?
prizes and tickets. It's in Mississauga. We'll send out a link on our
Okay.
on the site.
on the site.
Mississauga, Ontario, for those of you
Mississauga,
listening.
Ontario.
Are there
And what's
other
the date?
Mississaugas, by the
It's
way? I mean, there's a lot of
Saturday.
Springfields, but-
It's in the Mississauga Convention Center. Doors open at 11 a.m. sharp on Saturday, January 25.
January 25th.
All right.
So
That's
by the time this
it
podcast
really
comes
sold
Comes
out,
out.
Yeah,
It'll be too
so-
late. Sorry.
it was amazing. You should have been there.
Come
yeah.
next year.
Oh my God.
They were giving away free cars. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
there are prizes. There's a prize thing.
That's true. Okay.
So hey.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've gotten all that out of the way. Let's get
Yes.
to the main attraction. Here at Song Talk World Headquarters, we're always excited to discover emerging artists, and tonight's guest, a relative newcomer to the Canadian music scene, but she's already made a big splash. Jadyn Lamb makes catchy, modern pop music, upbeat, listener-friendly compositions that disguise deeper and darker subject matter. A longtime pal of the show, our friend Blair Packham, has described Jadyn as having a voice unlike any other I've heard. Her moody electronic pop has a style similar to Lorde, Kate Bush, Grimes. In 2018, Jadyn released her debut single, A Day Off, and now she has a whole new parcel of great tunes, some of which she will play and talk about here on this very show right now. Welcome, Jadyn.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
This is
I'm very
a
excited
term.
to be
This is
here.
actually a term. You guys mentioned something in there that I've been sort of muddling around in my mind. Modern. What do you guys mean by modern?
Well, when we were writing Bad Sign, we tried to make it modern because we face modern problems in the song. That's what the song's about.
Okay.
So what the arguments that happen over phone, text conversations, and stuff like that, there's a lot of that happening in
Okay.
young people's
Okay, so
relationships
it's largely in the
nowadays.
lyrical content.
Yeah,
that you're
so
looking
I
at.
make a
Okay.
lot of references to, social media and calling me up and, letting me go and texting me and tagging me and tweeting at me and stuff like that. There's-
Okay.
But I think musically also, the sonic landscapes of pop music have changed.
Definitely.
And to, I think, an interesting and much more experimental way for something that's, supposed to be mainstream. Listening to, like, in the song you're referring to, there's kind of, you use the sounds of texting and
Yeah,
social
Yes,
as
yes.
part of the rhythms and flavors in there too. So I think that kind of sonic openness is part of what I think of when I think of modern music.
Yeah, like there's a lot of sound design stuff going on in contemporary music. For sure.
It's an interesting thing because sometimes those sounds very modern, but at one time they won't. Because at one time, if you put the sound of a modem, the old dial-up modems, it's like,
Yeah. The one that
would have
sounds like a
sounded
really
modern.
unhappy computer.
Yes.
But now that sort of sounds kind of dated, or so
I
it's,
think Foley is probably going to be like, because there's a lot of Foley sounds in
Right.
use in pop music these days, and I think that's going to be the sound of the 2010s probably. That kind of Foley, and there's a lot of organic sounding percussion in there. It's not like how it was in the 90s where it was very, you knew it was a sampler or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
that was sort of
Yeah.
part of the deal was even the way it was chopped up and stuttered and
Right.
that
Yeah.
our robot overlords kind of deal. It's now much more subtle and as you said, organic.
Oh yeah.
One thing I noticed is the credits on the song, they list both Jadyn and Marco.
Yes.
So what's the process? Like, are you sort of a writing duo now, or?
Yeah, I've taken him on like as my producer because we have been working together for years now on stuff. He's my favorite producer that I work with. He's a genius. He gets me better than any other producer I've worked with. It's easy with him. We balance each other out very well. So I'll do mostly writing and singing and melodies, and he will make the production side of things, so the beat. But I also like to have my hand in that. I like to kind of dictate, not that sound. Slow it down, buddy. This is about my voice.
No.
Yeah,
It's Jadyn Lamb with Material City.
So what's
What's the process?
So what's the
How's it
process?
work?
I mean, are you like working separately and then coming together, or?
Yeah, he lives, far away from me, so we do a lot of it over the internet online. We do FaceTime calls and stuff like that. But we do most of our work separately, and we'll kind of stay on the phone as we work through things so I can hear it live how he's doing it.
So when you're coming up with lyrics and melodies, are you also sitting down at the piano and hashing out chord progressions, or do you leave that to Marco?
It's both, actually. It's both. Like we're collaborating pretty much on everything. Like on Bad Sign, when I was like, I wrote a lot of the lead hook on the chorus, but she also contributed to that. Like the last, I remember specifically, she wrote the last bar of that as well. And so like there's things I'm writing, there's things she's writing, and it's all kind of coming together for the
Right.
whole song. It's not just
No, it's never the same thing.
Yeah.
What we do, the process is always a little different, but it's 50-50.
What was the process of actually finding Marco? I mean, how did that work out?
We had actually finished the same program at college, independent music production at Seneca College. We had both done the program, and there's a Facebook alumni group that you get added to once you graduate, where older students, the new ones that just graduated, we can all come together and talk about things, share what we've done. And he had made a post looking for a female singer for one of his songs. And he sent a demo, and I listened to it on SoundCloud, and I absolutely loved it. It sounded like a modern Owl City. And I messaged him. I said, pick me. There was a bunch of other vocalists he was choosing between, and we've been working together ever since.
Oh,
Seems
nice.
to have worked out well.
Things have worked out very well.
we
Thank
both
goodness for
went
that
to-
post.
We both went to IMP at Seneca, and
Yeah.
you mentioned Blair Packham before. He was one of my teachers as well, and so like we were a few years separated when we went, but we both kind of met up in the group there, and we've been working together now for 2 years. So
Like 3 years, has it not?
time flies.
Like
Goodness,
just like
I
that.
can't remember where it began.
Well, 2 years ago you released a song, so I'm thinking it probably took a bit of time prior.
Yes, I
write it
released
and
a day
record
off
it.
on my own, and
Oh, that was without Marco?
that was completely on my own.
Okay.
I made that for school. One of our projects was to make a single for a CD that we released at the end of the year. So that song was made for the program. And I think it was 8 months later I released Water, and between that time I had met you, and that was our first song that we made together. And it's my favorite song I've ever released.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I
So
wanted to talk-
far.
I wanted to
So
ask
far.
about your approach because you're releasing singles.
Yes, I'm releasing singles. I'm avoiding EPs and albums for now. It's something
Yeah.
I want to do. But
Is there a reason?
Well, I don't want to sound too selfish or like I care about numbers as much. as I do, but it is important. And when I release my EP or my album or what I want to do next, a full body of work, I want it to do well. I want it to be successful. I want it to get the listeners that it deserves. I don't want to put in a year and thousands of dollars into an album when no one's going to hear it. So I'm releasing singles out, consistently every month. I'm trying to gather the fan base and grow it so that when I do choose to release the EP, I have that fan base ready to listen to it.
What are your strategies to build the fan base?
Well, I'm on social media pretty much 24/7. Gives me a headache. Yes.
So now, have you found certain channels better than others?
Certain channels?
Yeah,
Your favorite Instagram over
yes,
Facebook?
Instagram is definitely my favorite. I find it very difficult to break through on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Instagram is the only one that I've been very successful at.
Interesting.
Yes, it's definitely the easiest for me. I like it the best.
And what
It's
do
very
you
visual.
release on Instagram? Music, videos? Do you document your recording process?
Oh yeah, I'll film myself.
Stray
I'll
photos?
film day-to-day things. I'll let all my listeners and viewers in on my life, what I do every day, how I make music, what's going on in my career. I always let everybody know.
What you had for breakfast?
Yes,
And what is going on in your career right now? Where are you at? You had your debut, now you've got a couple of songs coming out?
Right, yes, we're working on another song that we're going to release in February.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if everything goes to plan.
Sometimes
Actually,
the process
let me
is-
interrupt. Before we go any further, let's hear one of the songs you have released, one of your newer songs. You want, let's go with Bad Sign?
Yes, Bad Sign.
This is a really cool idea and lyric to it and a great sound. So let's listen to it and then we'll talk about it
Of
afterwards.
course.
All right.
I'm all in, don't have the energy. I know it's no surprise. It put me out, but you keep asking me back like you just can't decide. And then I see what I don't like, looking like you got a few sides. You showed me all the bad signs. You tell me that you want me, tell me that you need me. Every time you call me, you just wanna repeat. Keep me at your subtweet, tagging all your selfies. Every time you add me, I just get more angry. Show me all bad signs. 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 I'm done and don't have it driving me. I know it's no surprise. You let me down, but you keep beating me up. Why can't you just decide? And then I see what I don't like, looking like you got a few sides. You showed me all the bad signs. You showed me all the bad signs. And then we're deep in a new fight, looking like it's going all night. You showed me all the bad signs. You tell me that you want me, tell me that you need me. Every time you call me, you just wanna repeat. Keep me at your subtweet, tagging all your selfies. Every time you add me, I just get more angry. Show me all bad signs. Show me all bad signs. Show me all bad signs.
Okay. That
Oh,
was
that was
Bad
great.
Sign, written by Jadyn Lamb and Marco Palma.
Nice.
Correct, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really clever song. I mean, it sounds very upbeat and positive, but then, well, I thought first time I heard it, I was really taken with how it's about a relationship, but entirely online relationship, it seemed, which I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
But there's actually more to it than that, too. I was reading an interview where it had to do with a relationship that someone you knew was in.
Yes, at the time that I wrote Bad Sign, my younger sister, that I love very dearly, she's my best friend. She was in a really bad relationship. And it was killing me knowing how sad she was every day. She was crying herself to sleep like every night. And me and Marco, we were working on a song for a competition that we had heard about in the summer. And so we were scrambling to get it together. He had made the beat, and I was about to start the lyrics when Brianna, my sister, came into my room to start another 2-hour-long ranting session about another fight that they were having. And she was showing me, the text message arguments. And I thought, I might as well use this as inspiration for the lyrics. So I based all my writing on the fight that was happening right in front of me.
Cool.
And the video's
On the
quite
phone.
cool. It all takes place in text,
there was the
right?
video was all done in text message. Which,
Yes, we had fashioned.
You should credit your sister as a co-writer.
Right, exactly, honestly.
What'd you think, Nick?
Thanks,
I
Rhiannon.
really liked it. I like that it actually has like a number of different sections. You got a verse, you've got what you're calling on the lyric sheet a pre-chorus one, and then a chorus, which I'm actually hearing more as a pre-chorus.
Right.
And then you're showing me all the bad signs is your actual chorus to me.
Right,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Yeah.
like the drop.
It's a bit of what you name it,
post.
but again, the salient point is that you've got a lot of changes happening in the song. It drops down a little bit quiet. It's a little bit more active. Like the energy map is quite good. The lyric references are pretty fun. With the I really like the. You just want to repeat, keep me out of your subtweet. Tagging all your selfies.
I remember when I came up with that line,
yeah.
I was like, Marco, subtweet.
Tweet, yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
You were doubting yourself on that line. I remember.
that
but
I was
like,
not. You were doubting me.
No,
You're
no,
asking
you.
the wrong person.
Phil, is subtweet
Well,
a
I
thing?
don't doubt myself.
What's that?
Is subtweet a thing?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Is that a real thing?
Jaden, can you
Not
explain?
yet.
Okay.
Subtweet
It is
is
now.
when you say something hurtful about someone, but you don't directly tag them. So you,
Oh.
if you're upset
okay.
at someone, you say something petty, but you
Yeah.
you make it obvious, that it's about them, but you don't tag them.
Okay.
So
it's kinda passive-aggressive.
You old
yes,
guys are
it's
learning
passive-aggressive.
stuff.
Learning all about the Twitter.
It happens a lot in relationships.
The only thing I would have done, a very small tweak,
Mm-hmm.
is I would have made the first verse about the happy time. Because the relationship never goes bad right off the bat, right?
You'd be surprised.
I agree on that.
Well, you know what? There could be a moment, right, where there's a glimmer of happiness.
Absolutely.
Because when you get into your pre-chorus, and then I see what I don't like, you've already gone
Right.
to that other place, right?
Right.
But I would just give that glimmer of hope before you
Dash
a good
it.
idea.
dash down
It's a
the
good
the
feedback
good one.
there. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I had no hope for her boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah, you didn't want to admit there's any good to that
There was
guy.
nothing
most
good
of the place
about
you
that.
say you were coming from, it was all down in the dumps.
Right.
That's when you first entered this thought process about to make this a song. But if you go back into her history, how did it actually start?
That's
all.
yeah.
Phil, what'd
One
you
thing
think?
that I thought was really effective, I agree, definitely, the Show Me All the Bad Signs, which you call your post-chorus, that really is the chorus. That's a sing-songy, that's sort of what, that kind of jumps up in energy. That's really where your chorus is supposed to be.
Right.
But there's, you have a little counter melody on those lines. Show me all the bad signs. That's that melody, that
Right.
which is really, really nice. And it's a very classical kind of pop song thing to do. But that's a wonderful little, because people don't do that as much as they used to. And it's a very effective technique, I think, to actually kind of...
Sort of a call and response thing.
Yeah, it really makes the chorus stand out quite a bit. And I liked how the, you have like your pre-chorus and then the, what you call this chorus, which is sort of a drop. You had enough changes there that it didn't feel like you necessarily needed a bridge. where you actually change tonal center and you wind up with some different melodies. It didn't seem to really need that quite as much. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing actually these days. Like a lot of pop songs are just foregoing bridges altogether.
Yeah.
I love bridges.
I do like bridges.
Ever
I
want to
love
get rid of bridges, I don't think I
A
will.
bridge, when it's really well done, it can
Exactly.
really elevate a
Yeah.
song.
Sometimes bridges are my favorite part of the song,
absolutely.
My problem is when I write a bridge, I end up then turning the rest of the song into what the bridge was.
Yeah.
Because
no,
I
don't
love
do
my
that.
bridge so much.
So
I'm the same way.
bridge support.
And you take your old chorus and make that the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
But the way a bridge can give you a different perspective on the idea of something.
How about you, Mike? What did you like about the
Well, I was
track?
saying, like, I like the, it sounds like an upbeat pop song, and it does have a kind of a traditional pop feel, but it's made in a very modern way, which I like that, like a way of updating pop songs.
remember
and then you find there's more
Yeah.
to the story, which is great. It's not just
I
something
remember a few years
disposable.
ago, I wrote a song called Cyberpunk, which is about this character who was completely on social media all the time. And I did the same thing. I included like a little bit of a ringtone. But the problem was I tried to find, like I went online to find like a typical Samsung ringtone. And there is no typical ringtone. Everyone changes their ringtone to something else. Sounds like a phone from the 50s or sounds like, some bleepy bloop thing. Or for myself, I just insert my own music track. A song I like.
Make your own ringtone.
There's no typical ringtone. So I'm like, okay.
We got an email from Fugazi Johansson.
Oh my goodness.
Says from Liverpool, UK.
Hi.
Jadyn Lamb on tonight. Tell her she is amazing. Love her songs.
Jadyn, you're amazing. There. Next.
Thank you so
From
much.
Fugazi. Tell
Fugazi loves your
Jadyn.
songs, by the way.
yeah.
Tell Jadyn, Imogen, age 9, who has autism, said she will be her best friend and loves all her songs.
Oh, Imogen, thank you so much. We're going to play on Roblox soon, okay? We're
Okay.
going to have fun. We're going to play some games.
Cool.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy you like my song, Imogen.
So about the song, so how did this come from? Like, did this start from a lyrical idea, or you said that you'd made the kind of a bed track for this?
For Bad Sign?
Yeah, for this.
We had heard about this song competition in the summer called It's Your Shot, and we found out about it rather last minute. So we had maybe 2 weeks to make something, so he had made the beat, and we were going to put this in for the competition.
It went by so fast, I can't even remember what came first. Whether
Yes, it was very fast.
I made the bed. I know we usually start by me having a rough bed track, and then she'll write lyrics to it.
Did you do the top line as well, or did you bring that in, or?
No, you wrote the top line. You wrote the melodies for the vocals, right? I might have some input sometimes, like, let's
A note
tweak
here,
this,
a note
let's
there,
tweak that. But she usually top lines the whole thing.
Yeah, no, yes. I
yeah.
think I did do that for Bad Sign. I'm getting it mixed up with Long Way Home.
Right.
We've made so many songs together, it's hard to remember, honestly.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, he had made the beat first, and then I wrote the lyrics and the melody afterwards within 2 days. Like,
Great.
that was it. We
That's
didn't
very
have a lot of
efficient.
time.
Yeah.
Speaking of efficiency, we need to take a break for sponsors and alerting
Blah, blah,
other
blahs.
people about important
Oh,
things.
hello, sponsors.
All right. For those of you just joining us, you're listening to Song Talk Radio, streamed on songtalk.ca, and tonight our guest is Jadyn Lamb.
Hello.
Hello. Don't forget you better not forget this, because we love to hear from you. So why don't you send in a tweet to us at Song Talk Radio, send us an email at feedback@songtalk.ca.
I forget what you just said.
And or send us something on Facebook, Instagram, and we'll share your thoughts on the show. And don't forget, you can find the links to all the products, books, and web services we mentioned here on the show on our resources page. And coming up on the next couple of weeks, January 28th, special guest Linda Lavender joins us as we unveil our responses to the recent songwriting challenge. Positive lyrics written over a minor
Linda
key.
Lavender.
Yes, which
Be
will
nice
be very
of Linda
exciting.
back.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to what I'm going to write
she's kind.
right over the next.
And it was actually Linda's. In some ways, it was Linda's idea, because when she mentioned she was doing this songwriting challenge thing at the Toronto Songwriters Association, I was like, "Hey, we should do that on the show."
Yes, it was good. And of course,
Steal the ideas.
out there, if you're working on a song, send it in our way too. We'd love to hear what you're up to. February 4th, Blair Packham returns, drops by to talk about the illusion of authenticity. So I imagine it's
Keeping it real, man.
Keeping it real. And if you happen to be in the Toronto area, please join us for the next Songwriters Meetup on Sunday, January 26th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Transat Club. Free to join and free to attend. Stop by songtalk.ca for a link for the Songwriters Meetup. And who's hosting that?
I'm hosting the meetup this
You're
weekend.
hosting the meetup?
Yeah,
Okay, so it'll be
busy
good.
weekend. And if our listeners and you guys, in fact, are curious about what Blair Packham is going to be on the show talking about,
I am.
We went way back to our when we did a show about rhymes, and one of the songs that we brought in was "Fast Car" by Tracy Chapman, and irrespective of the rhyme scheme of that song, we started talking about whether that story in that song was actually Tracy Chapman's life or whether it was not. And Blair went on this little bit about I love to talk about the illusion of authenticity, about how songwriters, especially singer-songwriters, when they write songs, how much of it is from their own personal experience, their own life, how much of it are they pulling from their sister or pulling from something else or some news they read or something like that. And I think Blair's contention there's a lot of it is not necessarily
You don't
direct
have to be
personal
true
experience.
to sound
It doesn't
true.
have to be true to sound true.
Yeah,
I
I think,
definitely have to agree.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be true to sound good either.
yeah,
exactly.
that's true.
You can lie the truth. But that's next week.
That's the era we're in right
That's
now.
This week.
That's 2 weeks.
That's
from
2
now.
weeks. Sorry, that's next week is us.
Next week is
Jane,
all on us.
before we started recording, you were talking about your approach to releasing singles.
Right.
So, actually, how are you specifically doing it? Are you putting it out on social media? Do you upload it to SoundCloud or iTunes? Or
Sell it
so-
out of the trunk of your car or what?
No, I don't do that. That's far too scary. I go through a distributor called CD Baby, and
CD Baby? Okay.
That's how I get
they
my
send
music
it
to everything.
everywhere.
Yes, and they send it everywhere. I avoid the free streaming ones like SoundCloud and other ones like that, but I do upload it to SoundCloud. My own CD Baby doesn't do that. I try to cover as much as I can while making money.
And you said you also do something visually for every song.
Right, so every time I release a song, I also want something visual to go along with it, whether that's a lyric video or a music video or an acoustic performance or maybe a video showing how I make the beat, just anything to go with it that people can actually watch.
And are you
Visual
all
is very important.
and because you're heavy on Instagram, do you ever go back to video footage you shot and said this would be good for this music video, or if you just do a compilation of stuff you already have, or do you actually sit down and conceptualize a video for the song and then start from
I think I lean more towards making it specifically for the song. Like I decide what I want to film first, but there have been times where I've had older pictures in my phone that I've used as inspiration, or something that I've written long ago. I'll use that for inspiration. But I just like to play the song back and listen to it with my eyes closed and meditate and try to picture exactly how I want the music video to look, like with color schemes and the character, everything.
And do you put
Marco, do you help with those videos as well?
Oh yes, he's helped with every single one.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
He helps me
I'm
with
there.
everything.
Yeah.
And so do you put those out on Instagram or YouTube or?
Yes, I post on all my social media little trailers for Instagram and Twitter, and then the full video will be on YouTube. I don't post anything to Venmo or
Vimeo.
Vimeo. We're sorry, what? Don't even know what it's called.
There's two. There's Vimeo, and then there's
Vimeo, right?
And then there's the other one,
Oh,
Vimeo.
there's the Vimeo as well.
Vimo's the music video one primarily,
Yes.
and then
Sounds like a cleaning
Vimo is in
product,
Vimeo.
Vimo.
Yes, it gets very confusing.
So how are you finding
the other one.
the pickup on YouTube?
YouTube, I've managed to get some randoms kind of trickling in, but I'm not sure how the algorithm works on YouTube. It's
Very
difficult for
difficult.
me to decipher. I look at it and I don't understand what's in front of me most of the time. The views that I get are just from followers and viewers that I already have, and I'm directing them to the video. It's
Right.
not so much an outside reach. Unfortunately, I'm going to have
So
to work
it
on
just
that.
kind of is an additional benefit for the people that follow you, as opposed to bringing in
Right.
a new audience.
I have gotten
currently.
a few, but definitely not enough for it
Now
to be.
you came to us, I think, through your PR person, didn't you?
Yes, I
So let's talk
did.
about that, because I think that's an interesting approach.
Right, so I was emailed by someone named Eric Alper, and he does PR outreach campaigns for artists he thinks is going in the right direction, I guess.
He's a very hardworking individual.
He
He's
is.
always
He
posting
is.
stuff.
I know. He posts
And
all
interesting
the time.
stuff too, which is I think, the difference.
Yeah, for sure. He's on Instagram. He's on everything.
Yeah, I don't know when he sleeps. He's always posting
Neither
something.
do I.
Yeah.
You know, I email him and he answers back within 5 minutes. It's like, what
Should
were
have him
you
on the
doing?
show.
Yeah, but
So,
Yeah.
So Eric contacted you?
Yes, I read the email and just about fell out my chair. I was shocked that someone, that big
Nice.
had reached out to me. So, I ran down the stairs and told my parents, and we printed out his little paper with what he was offering. I've never done anything like this before, so I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm trying. It's very, very exciting. He's gotten me a lot of placements like this, and he's got me on some radio stations and playlists, and I've been doing some online interviews, and the song's been reviewed by lots of sites. I'm getting way more streams than I ever have in my life. I have 2,500 monthly listeners, and
Nice.
I've only ever had 35. Like, it's an incredible
That's fantastic.
increase. It's outstanding, I'm very excited.
So how does
to
the
see
relationship
what's more
work
to
with the PR
happen.
person? What is expected of you, and what do they do?
Oh
Like,
my
what
goodness,
does
I
he
wish
ask
I
you
could
to
tell
do?
you in more detail.
Like, do you need to just keep him posted as you generate material, or do you have a schedule of working in advance that's okay?
Right, so we had set up, he does one song
Mm-hmm.
per month, basically, and we'll focus on that one song, and we'll put everything into that. So in this case, it was Bad Sign,
Right.
which was my most recent release. I gave him all the MP3s and the cover art and press photos and descriptions just for Bad Sign.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he goes to his media outlets and the people he knows, and he sends it out to them. And people who like it will choose to post
And it has
about
a good
it. and-
story. There's something you can talk about. It's
Right,
not
right. And
just
he
another
he
pop
encourages
song.
me to post everything that's been happening, the big and the small, every day, always at it. And he gave me lots of tips and advice on how to up my social media game, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yay, even more posting.
First tip: never sleep.
Rest
Right.
in peace, my neck.
So I know people don't generally like to talk about money, but how does the money work? Like you're paying him in advance, or you guys are sharing the
Right, so
proceeds, or what's the
he
deal?
sends me an invoice, and I send him a big chunk of money.
Unmarked
every
10s
month.
and 20s.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, that's fair. I mean, it's like, but obviously it works.
but it works, right? If you're getting more streams, then
Yeah.
you're,
It does,
We
yes.
got on this
Yep.
show.
Exactly. I'm so happy. Like, this is amazing. I've never done anything like this before. I'm very, very thankful. Thank you,
Okay,
Eric.
we're happy to have
You're
you.
Yeah,
awesome.
This is great.
Thanks for reaching
It's
out.
great for us to hear new songs.
Yeah.
Like your other song that you
Speaking
have.
of new songs,
Yeah.
So Long Way. This is an older song, Long Way Home.
How did I release this again? I wrote Bad Sign first and Long Way after.
Oh, okay.
Long Way Home was written after Bad Sign, but we were still on that wave of positive, upbeat music. So then Long Way Home was created after that. But Long Way Home
It was released after.
was
It was
released first, and then
okay.
Bad Sign
Gotcha.
was released. We kept it kind of under wraps. It was supposed to be for the competition, and we didn't get anywhere with it, so we had it behind it was there, and we decided to release Bad Sign after Long Way Home.
Well, why don't
Long Way
we
Home
take a
was-
listen to it, then you can tell us a bit more about it. But is there anything in
Yes.
particular we should listen for in this song?
Well, I think the song is about. I wrote Bad Sign for my sister because I knew she was hurting, and for people who are hurting in relationships. But I think Long Way Home, not intentionally, but it ended up being a song for me because, I hurt too. And I wanted something positive for myself to listen to. And, I'm an anxious person. I overthink. I'm really hard on myself. And I write about that in the song. And I say, I pull my hair out, I break my own back, but I don't give up. I keep going because, I have this dream. I've had it my whole life, and it's difficult sometimes, but I love
That's
it.
a good idea. An inspirational song for yourself.
Yes, it's an inspirational song for
Let's take a
myself.
listen then to Long Way Home.
I can't stay calm, shaking my hands, bite all my nails off. I can't move on yet. I'm too high strung, breaking my back, pull all my hair out. I can't let go yet. Have I lost my way? I can't see straight.
Okay, that was Long Way Home by Jadyn Lamb and Marco Palma. Very cool song.
Yeah, again, a really nice. I like the sonic nature of it, and
Thank
you
you.
kind of start out with something a little, I would say, daring, where there's the dee doo da, where you go, oh, like
Auto-tune.
That was your idea.
That was
not
my
mine.
idea.
First you go like, that's kind of like.
Well, it's
I'm going to
catchy,
start
yeah.
with nonsense lyrics. Are you on board or are you not?
No, it totally works. It's
yeah.
I mean, it's really catchy. I mean, that's what
It's
people are
catchy,
going to sort of. That's what people are going to pick up on it. You know.
I noticed I watched the video in the comments in the video. A lot of people were talking about that. Like, damn, you got that stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It's so catchy.
It is very catchy. There's a lot of hooks in this.
Yeah.
You guys actually have a really good gift for melody, to be honest. Like they're
Thank you.
simple, but
Thank
they're
you.
effective. You know,
Yeah.
like they really work, and they fit really well with the music, and they resolve nicely, and all those sorts of things that we kind of take for granted a lot of the time. But it's actually not that easy to do.
No,
It's
not.
Yeah, when it works like this, you go, oh, that's what a song sounds like.
Yeah.
But to get there
To get
is
there.
not that easy, and you hear a lot of attempts.
Especially with the
that don't-
rhymes and the lyrics.
A lot of
and-
hair pulling.
And
It's
a lot of
difficult.
and a
self-doubt.
lot of
Sure.
places to go.
Yeah.
This got really lush and nice, and it's made me wonder, what artists are your inspiration, or what do you look to, or who do you steal from?
Oh, wow. Okay, I think it's 5 or 6 here. I'll name them in order of everyone I've loved in my life. Green Day first. Then it was...
Don't hear so much Green Day in there.
No, no. No, that's
Actually,
more live stuff.
I
get
actually
more-
hear that. No, but I actually hear the
That
Green
pop-
Day
punk
melodies. Yeah.
stuff, right?
I do
Yeah.
try to bring it in there. It's hidden in there.
Yeah.
I gotta have my
There.
pop
Oh,
punk.
yeah. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Yeah. So
No,
Green Day,
that's
yeah.
okay. Green Day, Marina Diamandis, formerly known as Marina and the Diamonds. She was the first female musician that I fell in love with. I was, oh my goodness, I head over heels in love with her. I loved everything that she did.
She's pretty uncompromising, too.
I love her.
Makes her...
And then it was Bon Iver, Justin Vernon. He's in a band called Bon Iver, and I absolutely love his music. I also really like Kate Bush and the 1975. There's a bunch of others too, but for live stuff, definitely Kate Bush and Marina Diamandis.
Do you ever think to
influenced me.
yourself, in terms of production, in terms of writing, are you going to do this like a so-and-so? Like, what would they do kind of thing?
Definitely, I think about them when I make my music, but I try not to think about it too much because
Yeah, but you don't want to be ripping
these
off, but at
walls
least
on me.
consider what would they do with this, right?
yeah, for sure.
It helps you when you're kind of going, I can go this way or that way. It's signposts.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what's the process, the origin of, how did this song come together?
Long Way Home, my goodness. I haven't thought about it in so long. How did we make that song? It was riding on the tail of Bad Sign. We were still wanting to make positive, upbeat music because a few of my songs prior were a bit slower and softer. We wanted to make some more big music, more happy dance pop tunes.
The big choruses are usually my thing. I just like choruses
Right.
that hit you in the face. So
He loves doing
So did
that.
it start then with an intention? We want to make a big sounding song, and then you
Yeah.
decide that? Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
definitely.
Did this start with the chorus? You remember?
When I was writing the bed track, actually, it's funny because now we're working in the opposite direction. She'll write the lyrics first, and then I'll write the bed track.
We've
to
just
that.
recently switched
Yeah,
it up. It's so
but
much easier this way. I don't know how we didn't think of this
before before I was writing or I was producing a bed track first, and I usually always start with the chorus. That's the way I work. There's no right way, but for me the chorus has to be the most interesting part. So I start with that, and then I just work backwards. I just tone everything down for the rest of the song, working backwards. I used to do it the other way. I used to go forward, linear way, but.
Right,
You know,
find your
I
way
just-
to the chorus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
actually I think it's a bit more of a Nashville thing. Like they
Yeah.
usually start with a title, and the title
Uh-huh.
usually ends up in the chorus. So
Oh,
chances
yes.
are, the first thing they're going to write is the hook and the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's going to be your anchor for the rest of the song, right?
Yeah.
Because then you know your high point. It's always easier to go down.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
versus
Go
you have
higher.
much more flexibility on. You
Yeah.
really want, as you say, you want to hit it out of the park with a
Yeah.
chorus.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did I? It seemed like there was some male background voices
him.
in here.
That's me.
See, he knows everything for me. It's
That's
always
me.
him.
Just add some, support on those group vocals.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it when you do that because it's like a cameo in your music.
I have
Other
those-
artists,
It's
That's my
actually-
DJ Khaled thing.
You know, it's actually a nice contrast because Jane's voice is very light and very high and kind of airy, and there's sort of a nice contrast.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I made
A lot
you
of
do that.
separation there
Yeah,
in terms
it worked
of
out really well.
I
Yeah,
said,
you got lots
get
of
in
room for
there and
both.
record.
Voices.
I actually had one piece of feedback again on this song. I mean, overall, I really loved it.
Love hearing feedback.
Yeah, but there's one thing. If
course.
you ever look at the songwriting course on Coursera.org, which is taught by Pat Pattison, who we've mentioned on the show many times, is a Berklee School of Music instructor, very ground up, practical songwriting guy with a lot of like really useful tips. And one of the things he talks about is your melodies. Do you front weight them or back weight them? And front weighting means the melody starts before the backbeat or on the backbeat. And back weighting them means you start the melody after the
yes.
the downbeat, right? So it's 1,
Right.
2.
And what's his theory? You start on the
Well,
beat?
no, there's two ways of thinking
I see.
about it.
Right.
And front weighting tends to be a little more positive reinforcement and a little more upbeat and a little more sort of forward thinking, whereas back weighting is a little bit more pensive. It's a little bit more contemplative, especially if your lyric points
that's
that way.
really interesting.
And I'm looking at your pre-chorus. Have I lost my way? I can't see straight. Think I've had a change. Can I be brave? That's a little bit on the negative side of lyric, right?
Yeah.
So wait a beat before you sing that. Sing each of those lines, and that would introduce just another layer of contrast.
So wait, waiting would be the negative,
Yes.
or coming in early would be the
No, coming in.
Back
First
weighting,
is that
like
positive?
back waiting would be the more pensive.
the more pensive. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I was, I don't know, I went through this, like I started listening to James Taylor, who I never really listened to much when I was younger. And he's just so laid back and sounds like he's kind of smoking a lot of dope. But his stuff, like he doesn't sound lazy. And that's because all his melodies are front rated. He's always like pushing the changes. So his melody is like just before the chord changes. And that's why he always sounds so lively but relaxed.
Huh.
It's one of these subtle things. They're just, man, I wish
This is why I do the show, because I have no idea about this sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
find
But
it
it's
so
something to be
educational.
mindful of.
Oh, yeah.
Something you can be mindful of.
Yeah.
I definitely think about it
Yes,
more
that's
now.
a great
you know?
idea.
And when you start listening to like great melodies and you sort of see how they do it, and you kind of go, oh, that's how it is. And it's like all these, how some melodies just seem to soar,
Right.
and it's just all these weird.
And certainly, like you guys did front weighting the whole way through, right? And certainly in the chorus, it's applicable. It's like brave, I'll be the hero. You want that to push
Right.
forward.
Yep.
You want that to
Yes.
be anthemic and really hit you hard, right? You don't want to be waiting for that.
Yeah, it's great. It's such a positive song. I wanted to talk to you. You mentioned something about dance, and of course, dance people are nuts because you have people who are like 144 and 160, and if it's 140, if it's anything less than 160, it's not drum and bass. And,
For the kids out there, he's talking about beats per minute.
yeah, beats per minute.
If you do 138, I think we got a hit. But 136, there's no chance
So,
in hell.
do you think about tempos in terms of that when you're doing sort of dance-oriented stuff?
Well, most of my music it's not that fast paced. It's usually around 90 BPM.
This one is not fast.
No.
It doesn't sound fast. No, none of my music really sounds that fast. I don't like. I can't make. I'm too slow for that. I need
It'll
so
make
much
it too edgy.
space.
It's all like
But
hyped up.
you're talking like sort of poppy stuff. You're not really.
Yeah.
You're not really. I'm not going for the dance floor here. With your stuff, are
No.
you?
Yeah.
No.
No, yeah, most pop these days, like even you look at like the Chainsmokers stuff, it's usually around like 80 BPM.
Yeah.
But they make it pretty
Chiller.
dancey, which is
Well,
also,
there's the groove, which is
Yeah.
a whole different
Yes,
topic.
it can still be danceable, but my music
Yeah.
doesn't tend to be that
Yeah.
fast
Yeah,
paced.
I mean, a lot of reggae is like 70 and 80,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
very danceable. So,
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
it's all about the groove that you
Yes,
choose.
I'm able to come up with
Imagine
some
a waltz
fast
at like
dance moves
150.
for it,
That'd be
though.
crazy.
150. Hey, that's what the kids are going to be doing in 5 years. You want to get on
super
top.
waltz.
Oh, yeah?
we got to get ahead of that.
Hyper-waltzing.
That's right. Get into the hyper waltzing
waltzing.
thing now.
You heard it here first. So you'd said something, I think, just before we went to our commercial, so to speak, about doing an acoustic show. You've got an
Yes,
acoustic
I'm
show
going to
coming
be
up.
doing an acoustic live performance of Bad Sign on Humble and Fred at the end of the month,
Oh, nice.
January 30th.
So what's the acoustic instrument?
Is that
Is it
guitar
a
or piano?
keyboard or?
My dad's going to come and play acoustic guitar for me. Isn't he
Nice.
so
That's cool.
great?
Oh, nice.
Yes, we've been
she
practicing.
does the vocals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is that atypical, or do you often do acoustic shows?
I have
acoustic
never done this
versions?
before. I'm doing a lot of firsts this month.
Excellent.
Yes.
2020 is a good year for that.
Oh, it is. It's been a great start to the year. No, I've never done that either.
But when you guys are writing the songs, is it always a 1+1? Is it just like a few chords and the melody and the lyric, and before you start doing all the heavy-duty production stuff? Or it sounds like you start with something's the beats kind of already developed with the synthesizers and the whole kit and caboodle, right?
I mean, this time for our next song that we're working on, we did it backwards than what we normally do it. So she wrote the lyrics first, and then I produced something to her lyrics. But most of the time, I would try to build up the production as much as possible, just so there's as little left to the imagination as possible, so she can write to what is probably going to be the finished product. That's the way.
Now, when you say Jadyn did the lyrics first, did that mean also the lyrical melody, or?
I wrote the lyrics out and I sent it over to you, and you could already hear a melody in your head of what you wanted, and then he built that beat around the melody that he heard, and then less work for me.
Did you send Jadyn back a melody then?
Well, I'm not done the production yet. We're getting there, so I'm going to be sending it to her. She's been, complaining that I haven't sent it to her yet.
Patiently waiting.
But yeah, so she's going to be getting that soon, and then she's going to finalize all the lyrics and
So
melodies.
would that be like a melody, like sort of like a synth sort of doing the melody, or?
Yeah, well, my problem for a long time was like I would overproduce a little bit and not leave enough space for the vocals.
I would get buried.
Yes. So I'm trying.
That's always the danger, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying. This one is pretty sparse in comparison to the other songs, so I'm trying to leave a lot more space for her to do her work.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And you can always go back and add stuff like
Exactly.
in between the lines. And
once you've got
everything,
the vocal line down.
Yeah.
You hear that music? That means
It's
we're
time.
done.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Goodbye,
It goes by so
everyone.
quickly, doesn't
Thanks
it?
for listening. Yeah.
Well, so thank you very much for being
How do
on
we
the
get
show,
more of
guys.
your stuff, Jadyn?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Where
can
do we go?
find me on every social media platform at Jadyn Lamb.
And how do you
Jadyn for
spell
us?
that?
Jadyn, lamb like the animal.
With the
LAMB.
B.
Oh, that's why you have that. Okay.
Yes.
It's a
I've got a
mnemonic
little
device.
stuffed lamb
All right,
with
so
me
I'm sorry,
to avoid
this
confusion.
is all the
Not an
time we
accident.
have for you guys. You'll have to come back when you have your next round of songs.
Yes,
So
we've got
special
tons coming.
thanks to Jadyn Lamb for coming in, and
Thank you.
Marco, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me. Thank you.
So
it's a pleasure.
for you all out there, send us your impressions via Twitter at Song Talk Radio, via email at feedback@songtalk.ca, Facebook and YouTube and Song Talk Radio, or stop by the site at songtalk.ca. Subscribe today to Song Talk Radio Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher.com, Spotify, Podcast Addict. Get tattoos of us as well. And don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter at songtalk.ca. You can find links to all the products, books, web services we've mentioned on tonight's show at Song Talk Radio on our resources page at songtalk.ca. If we remember to put them in. We're not always good at that.
Yeah.
If you are in the Toronto area, please join us at our next Songwriters Meetup this Sunday, January 26th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Transact Club at Brunswick and Bloor. It's free to join on meetup.com and free to attend the meetup, though we do pass the bucket around, so the nice people at the Transact get a bit of bucks. Stop by songtalk.ca for the link to the Songwriters Meetup. And thank you to Rita on social
Thank you,
media.
Rita.
Thank you.
And on the tech board thingy over there, Don, thank you.
Don's the man.
And most of all, we'd like to thank you, the listeners. Thank you, listeners. Neil, where can we find you, say?
NeilModi.com.
NeilModi.com. Phil, where might someone find you in the
On
virtual world?
On the Phil Emery on Twitter.
Rita? Right here at
Radio
SoundCloud, that's it.
Soundtalk.
Otherwise,
Let us
leave
know.
her
We'll let her know.
alone. Don, where do we
Don
find you?
Thompson 777 on Twittergram.
All right. And Jadyn, you had said find you where?
Jadyn Lamb.
Everywhere.
Full name everywhere.
You have a website?
.com.
Oh, and you can find me at jadynlamb.com.
All right,
That's
very
my
good.
official site.
And me, you can see my photos at Proudfoot420 on
Cool.
Instagram. Stop by the website at songtalk.ca to browse past shows and find out how you can be a guest. Keep on writing
Good night, everyone.
and keep on rocking.
Laters.
Good night.
Bye.